nachas. So just to, there's going to be two more speakers. Mia's going to say a few words, and then just to close us out, if Rabbi Washington still is hanging around, I would appreciate if he would say a few words. So without further ado, I know the hour is late, and I know we have to go to a bris soon. My wife Mia.
I was composed until that, so you're going to have to bear with me. On January 11th, 2008, at 3:11 a.m., a call was received by the Lakeview Fire Station that there was a fire at 331 Maple Street. Our home had caught on fire. And as you all know, we were miraculously saved. We are here to celebrate the Nisim that Hashem has done for us and acknowledge this miraculous event. I realize this is not a simple thing. And I was standing there watching this fire burn. Thoughts started to pour through my brain. And that night, after the fire had been put out, we went up to my parents for Shabbos, and I couldn't sleep. And I thank God my brother and his girlfriend were there, and they were up with me until really all night. And ideas came to me that I needed to just share with everybody who was affected by this fire, which is our community. Hashem created this world with the idea to bestow goodness upon all human beings and on all beings in general. All Hashem asked was for Adam and Chava not to eat from the Eitz Hadat, but they couldn't resist. This one act severed the closeness that Hashem had between Hashem and mankind forever. From that moment on, all Hashem wanted was for human beings to reconnect with Him in that close way. And it took a long time for there even to be one person to do that, but that one person finally was Abraham Avinu. Hashem puts Abraham Avinu through many, many tests to see how committed he really is to Hashem. One of which, by the way, is a fire that he gets thrown into and is miraculously saved. Oh, sounds a little familiar. And over, Abraham proves to Hashem that he is dedicated and 100% committed, to the point where he was even going to sacrifice one of his own children, his own child. This unconditional attachment to Hashem is what saved his life. And his unwavering commitment is what made Hashem realize that there is hope for society and humankind. And from here, Hashem created the Jewish people. The Jews as a nation were created after being tortured in Egypt. The relationship that is established between Bnei Israel and Hashem is often compared to a chatan and a kala, a bride and a groom. As the Jews were leaving Mitzrayim, the holiday of Pesach is celebrated for this. It's compared to the engagement period between Hashem and Bnei Israel, where Hashem proposes to Bnei Israel, and Hashem shows his commitment to Bnei Israel. On Shavuos, there's a contract written up, the Torah, or the Ketubah, and it's as if Hashem and Bnei Israel get married. On Sukkot, our life as a married couple begins living within four walls or a home, a house. But take notice that really it's Hashem who is the one who is committed to Bnei Israel. We see over and over again Hashem's commitment through the Nisim that Hashem did for Bnei Israel, between the man that He provided and the Ananei HaKovod that He gave us to protect us, the clothing that He gave us to grow with us in the Midbar. And then when Hashem brings Bnei Israel into Eretz Yisrael, He continues to give them the land and kings and the protection that they need. But we constantly see Hashem giving and giving to Bnei Israel. And you would think Bnei Israel would respond to Hashem in the same way, by giving back what Hashem wrote in the Torah, which are His Torah and His mitzvot. But that's not what we find. Instead we find that Bnei Israel are rebellious. They go against the Torah. So much so that it gets to the point where Hashem can't stand it anymore. Bnei Israel are cheating on Him. They're serving other gods. And they come to this huge fight where Hashem says, I can't do this anymore. That's it. and he has to destroy the Beis Hamikdash because his relationship, what he went into it thinking it was going to be, wasn't. So that was Churban Bayit Rishon. The Churban, the house where Hashem and Bnei Yisrael were supposed to connect and make the commitment to each other. That was a symbolic place. And because of all the things that Bnei Yisrael did, Hashem couldn't have that house there anymore, and he had to destroy it. But as time went on, Bnei Yisrael realized they missed Hashem. So they did some introspection, and they went back to Hashem and they said, "We're really, really sorry. We apologize. We're not going to do this anymore. We really miss you. We really, really want to have this commitment to you again." So Hashem said, "Okay, I trust you. We're going to try again." And he built the Bayit Sheni. And at the beginning, things were good. But bad habits are really hard to break. And unfortunately, Bnei Yisrael did it again, cheated on Hashem again. And when you hurt somebody once, it really hurts. But when you hurt them again the same way, it's almost impossible to forgive. But we have an Nevi'im who tell us over and over again that the third Beis Hamikdash will be rebuilt. We have their guarantee. So somehow Hashem will forgive us all again. I don't know how, but He will. And every day we daven in our tefillot that Hashem should return us to Eretz Yisrael, and we should have the privilege and the ability to see the third Beis Hamikdash. And as this fire is burning, I'm thinking, we also heard of 2 Churban Bayits. The first one we did voluntarily. True, it was voluntarily, but nonetheless it was a house that was destroyed. The second one was on January 11th at 3:11 in the morning. Our house caught on fire. So there are two things that I'd like to explore. The first one is the significance of 111 at 3:11. At first I didn't really put much thought into this, but I read the book Life is a Test by Rebbetzin Weiss, who, by the way, is the reason that my family is religious when my mother was 13. After hanging out, I guess, at the Emirates' house, my mother made a commitment to observe Torah and Mitzvot, and she is the reason that my mother and father are religious. So that, for me, in and of itself, was a powerful message. So as I'm reading this book, I'm reading pages 230 to 234, and she has this mind-blowing explanation about the number 11. She ties it to the Twin Towers falling on 9/11. The date itself, 9 plus 1 plus 1 is 11. The two towers look like the number 11. It was the 254th day of the year. 2 plus 5 plus 4 is 11. It was flight number 11. There were 92 passengers aboard. 9 plus 2 is 11. 11 crew members. After 9/11 is a cry for help. The corresponding Hebrew date was the 23rd of Elul, the 6th month, plus 2 plus 3 is 11. So what is the number 11? What does it mean? And how does it connect to my house? As Rebbetzin Weiss did her research, she found that the number 11 connects with the idea of doing teshuvah, if you do the gematria. And she says, quote unquote, can these number 11s be wake-up calls imploring us to re-examine our lives, our priorities? And she goes on to explain about the 5 places in the Torah where the number 11 is mentioned, and it connects to teshuvah. I'm not going to point out all 5. But to me, there's an obvious connection between the number 11 at our house and the number 11 that Rebbetzin Weiss points out. The second thing that needs examination is there really aren't that many people who can say that they have watched homes being destroyed. And what is the significance of that? And I was standing there watching my house being consumed with fire, the home that my husband and children and I put so much thought, energy, hopes, and dreams into. I kept thinking of Bnei Yisrael and Hashem and their relationship. And what brought Hashem to lose 2 of his homes, and how painful that must have been for him to watch them being destroyed. And although we chose to destroy the first one, there were still memories and good times that were experienced. And it's so true about what Herman said about the second house, that it's all just stuff.